Welcome back to the Nerdy Grail, and welcome back to a video whereby I didn't initially think I was going to make this video, but the more I thought about it, the more I kind of wanted to look into it a little bit more and sort of discuss it a little bit on the channel. So as you can see behind me, I've got a fair few of the figures that have been released this year from either character options or from B&M. So you've got the 14th Doctor and the Meep set that we got quite recently, really. The 3rd Doctor and Sonic Screwdriver with the little Time Monster Crystal and Giant Maggot. Love the Sonic Screwdriver, by the way, in that set. We've got the Eve of the Daleks, History of the Daleks set number 21. And right there on the end, we have got the 15th Doctor's TARDIS. So the Eve of the Daleks set and the 15th Doctor's TARDIS are the sets that have most recently come out and have been an absolute pain to try and find, but I'm glad to have them in the collection. But on Monday, and this completely slipped me by, which is why I'm only just getting around to actually doing this video. I found out about this actually yesterday evening. I know, a little bit late to the party there. But I kind of wanted to discuss it in particular because I've got a few of the sets that it's going to be compared to. Is we got the announcement of what potentially will probably be the last of the figure sets to get released this year. Who knows, could get another one slip through the cracks. But this might be the last sets to come out this year. Is we got the announcement of two different sets. The first is the History of the Daleks set number 20, which I was a little bit confused initially. When I looked on my shelf, I was counting over the numbers. I got to 19 and then I skipped then to 21. I thought, wait a minute, I don't remember 20, but that's because it's coming here. And that is, again, which is what I find a bit strange, but I'll discuss that in another section of the video, is it's a Remembrance of the Daleks, History of the Daleks set, but this time they're including the Special Weapons Dalek, which I thought is really interesting, because I actually don't have that, and I thought that would be really nice to add to the collection, because there are a few really unique Daleks that you get from Remembrance of the Daleks. You know, like the Supreme, that Black Dalek, obviously Emperor version of Davros, you know, you've got the Renegades, the Imperials. So having the special weapons to add to the mix is really good. This is a beautiful figure, by the way. I love the Emperor Davros figure. But more importantly, the second one is actually a re-release of a set that came out ages and ages ago, and it's actually quite a long-awaited one that people have wanted, to be honest. Because if you try to find it on eBay, it goes for ridiculous prices. You might find it at a convention, but most of the time you're not likely to find it. And that is the Revenge of the Cybermen set. Yes, where you've got a Cyber Leader, 2 regular Cybermen, and a Cybermat. In fact, I've actually got the original set right here. You can tell how old this set is because it's got the original Doctor Who logo from 2005 to 2010, the Eccleston and David Tennant era of the show. Yeah, the Revenge of the Cybermen Collector's Set, which comes with a Cyber Leader, 2 Cybermen, and a Cybermat. This is still fully sealed. I have not actually taken the figures out of the box, because it just looks absolutely amazing. I do like the backdrop you got of the Nerva beacon, but it says up here what it includes, which it says the set includes 1 Revenge Cyber Leader, 2 Revenge Cybermen, and 1 Cyber Mat. But they are re-releasing this set, which, you know, is a good thing for a lot of people who didn't get the set initially. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to look at the articles that describe the sets, so we can sort of do a bit of a comparison, especially with the Revenge of the Cybermen set in particular, but we will take a look at the Remembrance of the Daleks set as well. But yeah, I mostly want to talk about the Revenge of the Cybermen set. But without any further ado, let's jump into the first of the 2 articles we're going to look at, and we are going to have a little look at the Revenge of the Cybermen set. So, sit back, relax, while we have a deep dive into what these new sets are going to look like. Okay then, so here we are on the Doctor Who site, or the Doctor Who merchandise guide, which is what I literally use for everything to find out all my news about Doctor Who, and to sort of have a little look about when things are coming out, you know, gives you links to different shops, that sort of thing. But here we are on the first set, which is the B&M 2025 Revenge of the Cybermen set. I really hope these sets are a lot easier to get hold of, because like I said, the Eve of the Daleks set and the 15th Doctor's TARDIS was ridiculous in trying to find it, and you don't really want to be paying the prices that you get on eBay because it's not worth it. So it says, a fresh new drop of Doctor Who sets at B&M. Character Options is excited to announce the details of the second drop of the Doctor Who collection sets for B&M stores for 2025, available in September. So they are going to drop this month. I'd imagine they will probably drop the later half of this month, so in and about another 2 weeks maybe, just because we've only just had these released last month. So I'd imagine they'd wait a little bit. Available in September, these two exciting sets will be the perfect addition to any fan's collection. For fans of the Doctor Who's most feared enemies, the first set, Revenge of the Cybermen, boasts 3 impressive Cybermen figures, whereas the second, Dalek Battle Squad, offers another old enemy in the form of the Imperial Dalek and the Special Weapons Dalek from Remembrance of the Daleks. Each pack features a back of pack descriptions and details on the inspiration behind each, a summary of which is below. So we've got the Revenge of the Cybermen figure set, which that looks really, really nice. The impressive re-release of a well-loved set includes updated and improved versions of the Cyber Leader, and 2 Cybermen as well as a Cybermat accessory. In the episode from Series 12 of the Classic Series, which my fiancé has watched many, many, many times, but refuses to believe that she's watched it or acknowledges that it exists. It's not that bad, people. Revenge, obviously, yes, isn't the greatest Cyberman story, but it's a bit of fun. The Cybermen release a mysterious space plague aboard space beacon Nerva to kill the crew. Infecting Sarah, she is sent by a transmat with Harry to the nearby planet Voga to purge the cyber poison from her body. So here we are, and there's another look at the figures there, which they do look really, really nice, I must admit. Nice and shiny. Does look a lot more improved from the original variant. I like the look underneath of the Cybermat, looking really nice. Although I wasn't really a massive fan of this design of Cybermat in the episode. It really bothered me, because I thought, you know, the ones from like Tomb and all were really cutesy. I quite like that, but still had that sinister edge. And then the ones you get like in New Who, I thought was a good blend of the two. I just thought these ones were a bit silly, if I'm honest. Another problem quickly materializes as a battered troop of Cybermen arrive in an ancient spaceship with plans to destroy Voga, the planet of gold, utterly before restarting the cyber war, using humans and the Doctor to carry bombs to the center of Voga. They come perilously close to success before being obliterated on their escape by the Vogans redirecting a rocket against their ship. And we get a little look at the packaging, which is obviously using the new packaging that we've been getting, you know, with the new logo that we've had since the 60th anniversary, the diamond logo, with that nice blue packaging. It seems they're using, you know, this blue packaging to represent the 4th Doctor, because it's interesting to see what sort of colours they choose, because looking at it, like with like the Jodie ones, it looks a bit more like almost like a purplish orange tint that they're kind of using for Jodie. It is interesting to see, like, it was like an orangey colour for like the 9th Doctor, but they're using that classic like blue for the 4th Doctor, which as you can see here, briefly in the description there, it says featuring 1 Cyber Leader, 2 Cybermen, and 1 Cyberman accessory, a bit like it says on the set that I've got below. Give you some descriptions of the heights and all, that golden sticker, the 4th Doctor, Revenge of the Cybermen, 1975, collector figure set, which does look really nice. And you've got a nice little backdrop, which I believe is a different backdrop to the one we got on this one. Yeah. On this one, it's actually a different backdrop. So on here, it's like the corridors for the space station, whereas here, it's in one of the rooms because they got like the sliding door there, or it's on. Actually, I think it's just outside in the corridor, so it's almost like a different area. But yeah, it's quite nice. I do like the packaging. I am wondering that I'm not a massive fan when they take away the window, you know, because you can damage this area of the box if you're like me and like to keep your figures in the box at times. But yeah, I really like it. Will I be getting the Revenge of the Cybermen set, considering I got the original set? Yeah, I think I will, because I would like to do like an in-hand comparison as well with the sets, just to give my full thoughts on them. But I must admit, it does look really nice, and I can tell from the get-go, especially when comparing it to my original set, that there is definitely some improvements that have been made in the designs of the Cybermen in here. You know, like there's a bit of gold plating there. The eyes do look a little bit darker. You know, it does look a lot more polished, you know. So I will admit it does look really, really nice. So that is the Revenge of the Cybermen set, but let's now scoot on over and have a little look at the Daleks set that is going to come paired with this Cyberman set. Okay then, so now we are having a look at the B&M 2025 History of the Daleks Set 20, which, like I said earlier in the video, I was a bit surprised when I was counting up on my shelf and I was like, hold on, 18, 19, 21, we're set 20. It's a bit weird the way they've also released these, if I'm being perfectly honest. And also, considering we've already got a Remembrance of the Daleks in the History of the Daleks line, it's a bit weird why we're getting another one. I know it's because there's lots of different Daleks you could do, but if that was the case, maybe you should have done this from the get-go, if I'm being perfectly honest. You know, rather than having like the Black Supreme Dalek and a Renegade Dalek as your chosen Daleks for the set, maybe you should have just done the really unique ones, like maybe you should have done the Special Weapons Dalek and the Supreme or something like that. I just feel like it's a bit silly, if I'm being perfectly honest. And just the way they've done it as well, they were doing them in order of stories and then they've just sort of gone all over the place, because now you're going to have like Resurrection, Remembrance, Eve. You're going to have skipped like Doctors, and so it's just a bit weird to me. But it is nice to get this set, so I am looking forward to it, because I do want to own a Special Weapons Dalek. But yeah, same thing as before, so I'm not really going to read this top part here. We're going to skip straight to this bit. So History of the Daleks Set 20, Remembrance of the Daleks, which is a fantastic Doctor Who Dalek story. I will have to do like a ranking of every Dalek stories at some point. So this set comes with one Imperial Dalek, as you can see here if I move it down, plus the unique and intimidating Special Weapons Dalek with updated deco and some revised parts, which that looks really, really nice. I like the rustic look, you know, the bit of, you know, hodgepodge put together look, you know, all around the little golden balls at the bottom. It's all like paintwork torn apart. You know, it does look really menacing. Just a giant gun as well. That's a lot darker as well. Yeah, I think it looks really, really nice, I must admit. Almost like wooden. It almost looks like, yeah, like a bit of a, it's like a bronze copper shine to it that you know, almost looks like wooden panels at the bottom here, but I quite like that as well. You know, the Imperial Dalek is really, really nice. Obviously, you get versions of like the Imperial Daleks from like the Revelations of the Daleks set as well, but I do like the golden on the white. I do think that looks really, really nice. So that'll be nice to have as well. If I just quickly scan back up. So here we go, we got the box again. It's the same colour palette as the previous Remembrance of the Daleks set, you know, because that's the one that's going to match the 7th Doctor, which is a bit like a bluish purple tint to it. And at the top it says Remembrance of the Daleks, 1988, Imperial Battle Squad is what they're like categorizing it as. And then it just tells you here, features one Imperial Dalek plus one Special Weapons Dalek, 7th Doctor, History of the Daleks, number 20, collect the figure set with the golden sticker of approval on it as well. And then down here, it says, in this story from the final season of classic Doctor Who. That's wrong. That's an error there. From the final season of classic Doctor Who. No, there was one more season that came out after this one, but okay, we'll glance over that. The Doctor returns to Earth in 1963 to retrieve an ancient weapon he left there in his first incarnation. Unknowingly, though, the Daleks have discovered the weapon, and now two groups of Daleks, you know, going across London to be the first to retrieve it. One group is loyal to Davros, their creator, and one is loyal to the Renegade Daleks. As things heat up, the 7th Doctor and a group of humans get caught in the crossfire. Davros sends an elite battle squad to Earth in a shuttle to retrieve the device, including a heavy weapons Dalek with a huge and powerful cannon, which, yeah, looks amazing in the story. It just shoots things and blows stuff up. It almost looks like a Michael Bay production. It looks amazing. The stakes have never been higher, but as usual, the Doctor has a plan. These new sets will be available in the coming weeks at local B&M stores. The retail price will be determined by the store. Yeah, in terms of price ranges for this, usually when it comes to the History of the Dalek sets, they're usually now sort of, because I remember seeing in stores that Eve of the Dalek set, it's usually around like $21.99, so it's usually like between 20 and 25 quid for like the Dalek sets. So that's probably what I would imagine this would be, somewhere between 20 and 25 pound. In terms of the Cyberman set as well, probably again between 20 and 25 pound you're probably looking at for these figures, but who knows, like I said, it'll be determined by the store. But yeah, so there's another look, a closer look at the Dalek and the Special Weapons Dalek, which again, I really love the look of that. I'm mainly getting the set for the Special Weapons Dalek. I'm not going to lie, because I do own a couple Imperial Daleks as it is, but it looks really, really good. Will these be the last sets of the year? Who's to say? But, you know, one way, shape or form, they're going to be really, really unique. But yeah, so that's having a little look at the history of the Daleks set number 20. So I'm just going to quickly pause the video. We're going to come back together and we're just going to discuss like my overall thoughts on these sets and what I think about the whole year in terms of the figures that we've got so far in general, really. But I will be right back. So they are the two sets that we are getting, well, this month. So in the coming weeks, we are getting the Remembrance of the Daleks, set number 20 for History of the Daleks, and we are getting a re-release of the Revenge of the Cybermen set from the 1975 story, which both look absolutely amazing. But like I said, I am a bit like up in arms about some of them. Like I said, Remembrance of the Daleks, I feel like they should have just chosen those Daleks to begin with Remembrance, rather than having now multiple sets for Remembrance of the Daleks. And then obviously the Revenge of the Cybermen, even though it's great to have, and it's great for people who haven't managed, you know, to get hold of this original release or have lost their original release, you know, giving them the opportunity to get a version of it, I think is great and really nice. I like that. But it is obviously just a re-release, you know, so I am looking forward to them. Like I said, I'm going to get the Revenge set in order to do a comparison, and I do want a Special Weapons Dalek, so I am going to get hold of the History of the Daleks set number 20. In terms of previous releases that we've had in the past, you know, like I said, the Eve of the Daleks set I think is really nice. The darker colours to the Daleks that you'll see in the set look really, really good. I love the weaponry that they've got. Really makes it stand out and unique. The 15th Doctor's TARDIS, when that was released, I was a little bit like, okay, great for like the internal stuff of how it looks. But in terms of the actual exterior of the TARDIS, to be fair, 15 and 14 pretty much just use Jodie's TARDIS, because the TARDIS doesn't get damaged in Power of the Doctor. The Doctor regenerates outside the TARDIS, and so the TARDIS stays the same. So the exterior is pretty much 13's TARDIS, you know? So it was a bit like, I'm not sure. I mean, I got it just because, you know, of the new interior and because it says 15 on it. I know, I'm a sucker for these figures. I can't help it. The Third Doctor set, which I think probably, the Third Doctor set is probably my favourite figure set that we've got so far this year, just because of how unique it is. So you've got a Third Doctor figure, but you get a proper sized sonic screwdriver. It's not one of those tiny ones, even though there is one included. It's a giant one, which I think is really good. And you get like the crystal from Time Monster and the maggot. And then obviously you've got the Doctor and the Meep figure set, which, you know, is great. Everyone was thinking, why haven't we got Meep merchandise? So it's great that we've got the Meep, and it's great that there's different hands and heads and all for it as well. And including another 14th Doctor, this time with his coat off, representing Wild Blue Yonder, I think is also really, really good as well. I'd say overall, it's been a pretty decent year for merchandise in terms of the figure sets that have been released. But there is just some that I think maybe we are sort of hoping for in the future. You know, like I would love another War Doctor set, or maybe give the Fugitive Doctor something else, or let's get some other proper 15th Doctor sets even, you know, it'd be really, really interesting. You know, we need something, you know, like maybe with Belinda, maybe we could have like a Mr. Ring-a-Ding or something. I don't know, I think like we need some more from Shooty's era, because obviously despite Shooty's era obviously ending quite abruptly and not being the greatest, I still would appreciate some representation for it in figure form. But either way, it is really, really nice. And like I said, I am looking forward to these figures, and I hope and pray that the hunt for these figures is going to be a lot easier than the hunt for the Eve of the Daleks set and the 15th Doctor's TARDIS. But I hope you did enjoy this little discussion and kind of reaction to these sets being announced. I may do a video when these sets get released. Like I may do a physical comparison in hand with the Revenge of the Cybermen sets. Who knows? We'll see how long it takes me to get my hands on them. But if you did enjoy this video, please like it by giving it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts on the sets. Are you going to be on the hunt to get them? Have you already got the originals? Are you rebuying them so you're going to have multiple like me? Just let me know in the comments down below, and subscribe if you are new. But for now, this is the Nerdy Grail signing off. I hope you've had an amazing day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now, everyone.